comfortable. We can almost see that there are some people in the room vaguely, but we can have a nice, lovely conversation here and blinded by the lights. But thank you so much, Ieva, for joining. As mentioned, I am on the board of the Latvian Startup Association and have spent a lot of time over the last year trying to understand where are we as an ecosystem and where are we heading. And I'm really, really excited to be joined today by Ieva, who has spent years navigating through the very complex elements of the of institutions that influence the innovation ecosystem directly. And she has been both at Altum, which is the Latvian Investment Development Bank, and carries out funding in equity and debt areas, and now is at the Latvian Investment Development Agency, focusing more on the grant side. Thank you so much for being with us today. I think we're going to look at a couple of things. We're going to look at where we are as an ecosystem and how we got there, and we're then going to look at where we need to head and what needs to develop further. And I think if we start with looking backwards, there have been a lot of milestones, a lot of big things that have happened over the last years. Latvia has been recognized as one of the most attractive employee share option schemes in the world. We have a very attractive startup tax law for early stage startups. I mean, you have been in institutions directly involved with a lot of these elements. Can you talk a little bit about what is the mentality, what is the mindset of the Latvian state or the Latvian institutions that focus on investments, and are startups visible? Are startups seen? Does the government think about startups at all?
Yeah, thank you for having me here and for this kind invitation. And thank you for introduction. And yes, currently I'm director of Latvian Investment and Development Agency, already 3 months. And before that, I was in Altums 1.5 years. But most of my professional life, I've been in business, in private business. I was advising in investment advisory business, consulting companies on M&A deals and financing attraction. So I really do understand how hard and is to fundraise and do it every day. I was a great supporter for the companies on that. But answering to your question, yes, now I'm on the government side actually, and what I see that over the past years, Latvia has demonstrated increased support for the startups ecosystem, and there are lots of many initiatives and programs already being done and coming in the next year. But when we talk about the startup ecosystem, of course we should talk about the regulations. And here I see also many good things which relates to startup tax law. We have simplified tax system for the startups. Then of course FinTech regulation recently developed where we see that this MiCA regulation is very attractive for Latvian companies and also for international companies. Huge interest is coming also into my agency, and I have heard a lot of from my partners as well. Cybersecurity regulation and law, so hopefully we'll have big names here in Latvia as well. But from my agency perspective, we also support startups by issuing startup visas in order to attract international talents to Latvia, founders and talents for the companies. And of course, funding initiatives. And when I talk about funding initiatives from LIA, from agency side, we provide different kind of grants, and we co-finance up to 45% for talent attraction, for highly qualified specialists, employees. So we co-fund this incentive as well. What else? What I forgot? Yeah. So. Incubation programs, of course, we have incubation programs internally in the agency and pre-incubation programs, and we support and provide support also to private partners so they can mentor our companies, local companies.
Yeah, and I remember, so I think I've been the startup ecosystem for the last decade, and let's see, Anders Bertins there in the front row, and he was one of the people I met first, and I remember going to some of the ministerial committees back then talking about the early developments of startup tax law, etc. And I remember there was a debate where one of the people said, angels, are there also demon investors or devil investors? And I think we've moved a long way from that, and I think the understanding of what the ecosystem is and what the ecosystem needs, I think, has strengthened. And so it's lovely to see people like yourself who have private sector experience also trying to put in the good fight and join that, hopefully simplifying and developing that further.
Yes, I would like to add that actually we have a strong fundament, actually now created in order to be in order our startups to be very successful. And I like to think that in investing now today in the startup ecosystem is like buying Bitcoin in 2015. So skepticism was high, but if you bought them today, you have a really great returns on that.
Fantastic. And I mean, from your perspective, you deal with a lot of large companies also, entering Latvia, developing base here. What share of that is with technology companies, and how is Latvia seen as a technology ecosystem internationally?
Yes, of course. We currently we do see that there's a huge interest in defense sectors, military sectors, and dual use. Since security is very important for all our region and also worldwide. And of course, all of these companies should have some kind of technological attraction, and the great examples is edge autonomy, the recent robotics origin. Those companies, they are very successful actually already, and we see that here in Latvia we can develop many more that kind of companies since we have great talents and already the ecosystem and community, so we can create around opportunities there.
Fantastic, and we'll talk a little bit more about the ecosystem a bit, and it feels that defense is clearly a global priority, but for this region in particular, there's awareness of stronger empathy for what's been happening in Ukraine, and an understanding of the reality of some of those challenges. That it's very important to see that sector developing further. Let's talk a little bit about where we can head forwards, and I think one of the things that countries globally are struggling with, and states globally are struggling, is adapting from this notion that companies are these organizations with very concrete assets, with big manufacturing plants, and with real estate and all that. Moving to a world where a lot of the innovation, actually the majority of innovation, happens in small entities with focused teams, where servers are now, sit in a cloud, and you have a team with some laptops, and I think governments are struggling to adapt to that world in terms of their funding models, etc. How do you see the innovation ecosystem developing over the next 5 years, and what are you thinking about some of the developments that the state might push to support that better?
Yes, of course, the world is the world is developing at such a rapid pace that we should think about innovations and investments in R&D. And without that, we'll not be competitive on the world stage. And this is what we are working currently. Also, we know that we need to design the programs in order to support these investments. And currently, we are working with the Ministry of Economics on designing program specially dedicated to the R&D and innovation costs. So hopefully we'll do that this year, and next year will be available around 50 million for the co-funding of the R&D costs for the startup companies and also SMEs. Hopefully for the large companies as well. So because we know that without innovations we will be nowhere. and when I think about innovations, also I'm thinking on the dimension that the costs or the expenses you have spent on creating a product 1 year ago, today to create the same program it costs you 5 times less. So you have to innovate every day to think about this and to move forward and to stay sharp and invest. And without state support, of course, the private companies, they don't have such amounts of money. And hopefully we'll have many other programs also.
That is excellent. It was really excellent to hear. I think this is I remember, again, 2014, 2015, when Edurio, the startup I founded, started going, we had these 50,000 long-term loans available, and now, hearing about major programs like 50 million for R&D being developed, that is, I think, very promising for the ecosystem and a good reason for startups to think about R&D and scale up their product teams in the future. And yeah, very excited to hear that. So thank you for sharing that. One of the things that is very important and that small ecosystems like us in the Baltics frequently struggle with is talent. And there are elements of developing talent in-house, well, in country. There are developments around bringing talent from elsewhere. What's your take of the tech talent currently in Latvia, and where do you see the Startup Visa program being, adding value either now or in the future for that?
Yes, of course, as I told, we have this Startup Visa program. Of course, it supports the ecosystem, and of course, we would like to do more, but at least we have something. But when we talk about the talents, when we talk to the foreign investments, of course, we always market our country that we have really highly educated talents, and this is what we really have. Of course, we could have them more, and therefore, I really like to see the private initiatives such as a startup house, start school. Where we can get more entrepreneurs and also talents. And of course, we are from LIA, we are supporting these different kind of educational systems. We are financing mini MBA program as well for the employees. So very soon we will open application process for that as well. What else? And this co-financing for attraction of international talents to Latvia also is something that helps. And of course, we should look on the whole ecosystem and community. For example, the recent success story that the business, the Tech Mahindra, they are opening the office here. So once the international player coming to Latvia, he's bringing also talents here. So for the local companies or other companies, there will be many other talents to compete. Yeah, this is community. Once you get somebody here, they are inviting others, and this is how we can look on this as well.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, initiatives like Start School are really, helping people who have the interest but don't yet have the confidence or all the skill set to develop them. And I think, one of the things that I think in Latvia we could benefit from, we have a lot of extremely smart people who have technical skill sets as well as linguistic skill sets, for them to gain the confidence to either start off on their own or join something that is perhaps less certain, less secure, but go and take some risks, is something that really have massive props to the TechChill team and the TechChill event as a whole. I think this as a gathering space has helped develop a new set of leaders for the future and new thinking on the space. So I think everyone here can contribute by sharing, asking those friends of yours in comfortable seats, sitting in those big companies, are they really feeling they're making the biggest difference they can, and can they contribute to the next wave of innovation? But one of the things that, when you think about startup visas, when we think about startup tax law and ESOP development, etc., many startups are afraid to interact with the government because of bureaucracy, because of red tape, and because of how long it takes to prep applications and then write letters of justifying every step. And as a government institution, that's a really important balance to strike. How do you make life as simple as possible while ensuring that all your commitments to the external sources of money, may they be EU funds or otherwise, or local, are met? So yeah, how high is bureaucracy on the agenda currently for LIA and previously Altum to address, and are gains being made there?
Yes, honestly, the bureaucracy is on a very high level here in Latvia. I do agree with that. We are over-regulated, that's true. And this is what I see from since I've been in business, and now I'm on the government side. I'm pushing everybody to simplify this regulation, and this is also my target in the agency, to simplify whole processes whenever we can, to support the companies in order to get any kind of programs we can offer them when applying for the grants, when applying for export incentives, because currently this process takes too long time. It's not efficient, and we have started already implementing AI solutions. Actually, we have agreement with ASIA. ASIA is our very well-known startup here in Latvia in AI advancements, and we have signed agreement, and we are starting pilot project, and they will support us and provide solution, especially for this project evaluation process, which takes a lot of manual work for my colleagues, just to do that and make a decision whether we can provide the support to this company or not. Since we are managing the EU funds, of course, we need to comply with all the criteria that have been set in the Commission level and also on national level. But yeah, this is of course one of the Europe's, not only Latvia, and also Latvia's priorities, to simplify the bureaucracy, because without that we will not be competitive on the global scale. And also from my perspective, when I design a new program or project or incentive for the businesses or for the companies, I'm looking from the business perspective, not from the regulational perspective. For me, it's like it should be very simple for a company to get this support.
Yeah, and I think the context of the European Union is something that we have to always be mindful of. I've seen very proud announcements from European Commission that Europe is a leader in AI regulation, and I'm going, Europe, that's not the flex you think it is. We've got the States being the leaders in AI development, Europe being the leaders in regulating. But I think how much, I guess, thinking about dealing with European requirements and developments, how much freedom is there to simplify and structure some of the, because a lot of the support that is available through, whether through Altum or the development agency, is linked with European funds, and that comes with certain reporting requirements. So how much room is there to simplify?
Actually, it's all about the interpretation. It's all about the interpretation, and then it's when you implement this regulation in the national on the national level, you have to think widely, not about all risks. So let's put any risks, and we are when the bureaucrats are writing a new regulatory framework, they are thinking of that. All of them are criminals and prove that you are not a criminal, but we should change this mindset, because they should think that we need to support this business and evaluate the costs and benefits. If we not put this condition, what we will get and what we will lose, we can't over-regulate, because it's not set on the commission level. Maybe some conditions, but it's everything about the interpretation. And we like to interpret everything and all the situations to put on the national level, and it doesn't help.
Lovely to hear you say that, and really glad to see you in this role. And I hope more of the sector bring that mindset to really focus on the impact and trying to fight around the burdens that we face. So I think really hopeful about what the next years bring with that approach. Now, I think we're in a very, very interesting point for the ecosystem. We are now, 2025 has started, and I think 2024 had a lot of really important milestones, a lot of firsts. We had Start School, which supports the next generation of founders, so people who want to gain business education together with a tech education and learn how to become startup founders. Startup House has had a massive impact on the ecosystem. The ecosystem now has a place to gather, to meet regularly, to exchange thoughts and innovate with each other. And I think a lot of that is a lot of the ecosystem development happens in waves. We've had first-time founders who have reached a certain scale, who are now able to give back to the ecosystem. We've had James Burdigans, we've had Armand Sprox, we've had many other people. So Ann Andersson, the founder of Start School, and many of the supporters there. And so we kind of have a perfect moment where a lot of founders who have seen their success are able to support the ecosystem and contribute to that, and providing that next boost that it has been very much needed over the last years. And for you, when you think about people thinking about starting new organizations or thinking about changing their careers, where would you advise they look for either inspiration or support? How do you think they can start to think about becoming founders?
I would like to really encourage any youngster to start this startup, since this is, of course, our future, and that helps our economy to grow. But of course, the first, I think, I would tell to look on the Startup House, and of course, to the Start School. this is, and of course, from agency side, yes, we do have these programs, incubation programs, where we have great mentorship and different kind of activities, and we have 20 regional offices around Latvia, in Latvia, so we are welcoming these new founders to our incubation programs over there. So that's not only in Riga, it's also in Latvia. Yes, and be brave and don't be afraid.
Nice. So if you want to start a startup while enjoying the lovely seaside, there are those options as well. Now, we have about 5 minutes, and I think I want to spend the final bit just talking about something that is, very exciting element of 2025 is something that you've worked a lot with in your previous role. Is we have 3 new funds being created that will support the ecosystem by investing, total over 60 million euros. Can you share a little bit about, having been through that process? Can you share about the thinking behind that support and the hopes for what that will do, and what will it mean for this to have been successful for you?
Yes, I was involved totally in the whole process, starting from designing the technical specifications, since it was according to the procurement law, and there we had. And what I liked, because I see that. Also, the venture capital ecosystem has developed very well, since we got 11 applications, 11 teams wanted to be among the winners, and of course we chose the best 3 ones. Most of you already know, and yes, that was a complicated process. And what I also like that actually these 62 millions. From which 52 is provided by Altums or by the government, which are EU funds, and this is the largest amount of money in Latvian history for the VC funds and for the pre-seed and seed investments. And that's great that government understands and supports the ecosystem, because we understand without VC funds there will not be enough new startups, since these investments are very much linked with the high risks, and private investors are not that much investing in that stage companies. So I'm really looking forward to the investments. They will start, and of course. Another thing which is beneficial, that for the seed investments, the ticket size is 1.5 million maximum, which is also a huge amount for seed stage companies.
Yeah, that's enough to start leading around and attracting then further investment from funds, including international funds, right?
Yeah, that's an opportunity also to attract international VC players to Latvia. This is a really great opportunity. And of course, co-investments and everything.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think one of the things that I'm really happy that has happened is that the fund managers have rich past experience in the ecosystem. They come as either previously having invested being active members of the community, both as operators and as community champions. So it feels like we are in a place where people will be giving a lot of investment over the next 3 years, so a major boost to that. And these are people who also understand the sector and understand the needs and understand what it takes to succeed as a startup from being based in Latvia. How much was that kind of fund manager experience? How much was that part of the selection process? because it feels that that's worked really well.
Yeah, one of the main criteria was how successful investments they have in the previous years, actually. And there we looked on the returns on exited deals and also on the ongoing deals. And this was the main criteria. And of course, all of them have been founders and they have this professional experience as well, which is very crucial if you are VC fund manager. Actually, you know how hard is on the business side. It's not like you are just asking for the returns, but you are also supporting and mentoring and yeah, doing that kind of support for them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We have had a few years of important building blocks for the ecosystem. We have important legislation put in place. We know there's more to do, and we know there's further to go, and we're excited about you spearheading some of that work and working together with the ecosystem to develop that. So I think we have a few very exciting years ahead. I think it is quite likely that 2025 is the most exciting point to start a startup in this region. And thank you so much to Jagere for being with us today.
Thank you.